Alright, yo, I'm gonna keep it real with you. There's only three ways that you can beat inflation. And before we go over those three ways, I want to say that the link in my bio will give you a strategy call. And from there, we'll speak about how you can beat inflation and what you can invest in, or what I am investing in that works for me, that has allowed me to beat inflation, and that's also allowed me to own my time back. So first, let's talk about how inflation traps people. One way inflation traps people is that it takes control of your time. Now, you could be a person who saved 25K at 25 years old, or let's just say 35 years old. You decided to take a sabbatical or take time off from work. Take time off from work and decide to spend time for yourself, whether that's travel or stay local and do whatever that you truly want to do. But in the meantime, you do still have expenses, you still want to live a little bit and enjoy yourself, which all comes with a cost. One way inflation traps you is that it keeps you having to work, because as the prices of goods go up over time, that will make unless you have consistent flow of income or a set income base that is set and slowly increasing over time with inflation, for example, or more, then you will eventually need to work. Because if your bill or your expenses was once $2,000 a month to carry everything, we're talking about food, rent, or mortgage, let's say food, rent, and other small expenses and a little bit of enjoyment. If your expenses were, and to save 200, 300 bucks, whatever, a month, or whatever, 500, let's just say your total budget was 2,000 or 2,500. Over time, with inflation, your budget may turn into 3,300 or 3,500 or $4,000. With a set amount of income and no increase gradually over time, you are bound to be getting back into work and spending your time for money so that you can accommodate the increased price of goods. And so that is one way that inflation traps you. That is by keeping you in the rat race and keeping you working and trading your time for money, evidently. Another way that inflation traps you is that, similar to spending all of your time working and having to accommodate for the increase of prices, but it'll keep you in a space where you're forgetting your dreams and aspirations, because you're too busy worrying about how you will pay your expenses and make a living for yourself. And so next I want to get into, so those are the ways that inflation traps you. And next I want to talk about the ways that you can beat inflation. I like to teach this to individuals or any organization that I partner up with. One way that you can beat inflation is by investing in the stock market, because by investing in the stock market, such as ETFs, commodities, stocks, crypto sometimes, or many times, and let's just say that you're getting a return on your investment every year, such as your money is increasing in value every year on average, then you are essentially beating inflation, because your money is growing at a rate that inflation is increasing, or more usually, over time. But let's just say I had 100K sitting in the stock market, and over 8 years, I left that 100K alone in the stock market. After 8 years, I ended up needing those funds. My funds at 100K would be worth a lot more if invested correctly, and would eventually beat inflation, because as the dollar increases in value, this would be a better way to conceptualize it. If your dollar decreases in value, then it'll cost you more to buy the goods and services that you've always had. Therefore, if your money is increasing over time, such as in a vehicle like the stock market, then you will be beating that rate at which your dollar is decreasing, because you have increased it at a higher rate. Therefore, you didn't lose any money or any purchasing power. So that is one way that you can beat inflation, and that is by investing in the stock market. Another way that you can beat inflation is by investing in real estate. And this works the same way, in the sense where your money is increasing in value in terms of equity. Now, if you buy a house, whether it's a condo, a multifamily, or a single family, then you have stored value. As long as you're paying your mortgage, yes, you are having expenses every year, you're paying taxes, but whether you're in a good neighborhood or high valued neighborhood that has been zoned for increase of value, then the asset that you bought, which is your property, should increase over time and not decrease. Therefore, you're beating inflation in that way, in which your funds are increasing over time and beating the rate at which inflation is decreasing the value of your money. And so those are two ways. We have stock market, we have real estate, and a third way is building equity through a business. Now, owning a business, being an entrepreneur is probably the best thing you can do in a capitalistic society, because your income is not fixed. It's one of the best things you can do. Now, unless you go for a high demand skill, such as being a doctor, engineer, lawyer, or a CPA. These careers do have their benefits in the sense of scaling capital, but your time is being consumed, your energy is being consumed, and your income is capped, which are things that you will not have control of in these high demand skills. Therefore, a business or being an entrepreneur still beats these things, because you have the time to yourself. You don't have a cap on how much you can make, your income. You can make as much as possible. It's unlimited. The possibilities are unlimited, as opposed to being a doctor. Yeah, you're making 100K, 150K a year maybe, or more, but you're capped. As opposed to owning a business, you are unlimited. And I'm not saying that owning a business will automatically shoot you up to six figures or multi-six-figure levels, but the possibility is limitless. And so these are the three ways that you can beat inflation, guys. That is with owning a business, that is with investing in the stock market, or investing in real estate. And I like to call these the three pillars of wealth, because these are the only three ways that you can really get rich and wealthy in a capitalistic system. So it's your boy, Welcome Marvin. Give me a like, give me a comment, let me know what you think. And I'll be coming with y'all with some more gems such as this. Hit the link in my bio if you'd like to set up a strategy call, and I will help you get started on investing in assets in which have helped me grow to the level to where I'm able to have time freedom, almost location freedom, still growing, and most of all is give me a peace of mind to where I could travel and enjoy time to do the things that I really want to do. So appreciate y'all watching, and I'll talk to y'all soon. One.